Hi, this is JJ Barnes and this is Jonathan McKinney.
Hello.
And you are listening to episode 3 of our WandaVision podcast because WandaVision has just released episode 3.
Yes, it has.
Surprising coincidence that, I'd say, Jonathan McKinney.
Yeah.
So if you have not listened to this podcast before, why are you listening to episode 3? Go back to episode 1, you weirdo. But basically what we do is we take each episode, we break this podcast into 4 parts. Part 1, we talk about the plot of the episode. Part 2 is what we liked. Part 3 is what we didn't like. And part 4 is our thoughts, theories, and conclusions about where we're at and what's going to come.
Good. Let's go.
Okay, so episode 3. Okay, so I'm going to first start by saying I was very excited by the aesthetic. You know how I was saying before, like the aesthetic of the first 2, I was all like heavily into it's like, oh my gosh, it's Bewitched, it's Stepford Wives. I was loving it. I was very excited by the aesthetic of episode 3, the 70s.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, I loved it. It made me want to go shopping.
Right, good.
Like, before we actually get into the plot, I'm going to just like nerd out on fashion, and I'm sorry, but oh my
Feel
gosh,
free.
Paul Bettany's look.
I can't speak to clothes.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Paul Bettany, I loved it. The flares, the tweed, loved it. Honestly, Elizabeth Olsen with the hair and the little dress, they all, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. But anyway, moving on. If you can hear strange noises, once again, we've said this last time. So, yeah, our animals...
we've got 2 cats and they are fighting.
They are literally... Batman and Robin right now have chosen this opportunity to wrestle. So ignore our annoying felines and focus on our beautiful words.
So the plot is first.
The plot is first.
Right.
So, I would say that obviously you go into it knowing that something's gone wrong because Wanda's very heavily... Well, she's 4 months pregnant. But I would say if you went into it... Say if you joined episode 3 not knowing that Wanda being pregnant was a problem, like strange.
Okay.
Right? I think you're told very, very quickly that things are going wrong. Because Keenan is hedge cutting the wall.
Yeah.
Like, they don't waste time. Like, the first episode, they wait till the very end for things to go weird.
Yeah.
Episode 2, it's part way in when things start to go weird. Episode 3, things are going wrong and strange almost immediately. Like, even before she does that little reverse when he comes back. Like, the fact Keenan, I know he's not actually Keenan.
No. He's Herb.
Yes, well... In my head, he will forever be Keenan. Child of the 90s.
That's his full name.
Yes. But the fact is, he's there with his hedge trimmer cutting the wall. So that tells you straight away in this really sort of obscure way.
Yeah, so I also was more energized watching this one than I was in the previous 2. I don't want to say that I was critical or anything, because I wasn't, and I was having a good time and I was happy to watch the first 2, but I think I said last time that
you see, because
one of the things that I'd kind of yearned for was a little more things going wrong in the way that we assume that they're going to.
Yeah, see, I actually loved, I said before, I said in the previous episodes, I loved the way they did it. I would have been, honestly, actually watching this, one of the thoughts I'd had was, I actually would have been happy for them to stay for longer in that 70s show kind of aesthetic. But yeah, they go in immediately. And it's not a criticism because I really genuinely enjoyed the immediacy of the problems, the magic gone wrong vibe.
Sure. I mean, the pregnancy is sort of, the rapid pregnancy is sort of treated like the dinner with the bosses and the magic show anyway, in that it's sort of another thing that they're trying to hide so that they can fit in.
And you know what? When we get to part 3, the stuff we didn't like, I have thoughts.
Okay.
And it's not genuine criticism. It's not, but it's thoughts. But yeah, like, as I say, I would have been happy if they'd left it for, just like a few minutes before going into the weirdness, but I didn't actually dislike them going straight into the weirdness.
Mm-hmm.
So should we talk the plot? We have to go. We're going ahead of ourselves. We have a system here. We have a routine. We have a process. We have a structure.
Okay.
vague structure that we don't really stick to. But so the plot. So Vision comes back in. He tries to say that he thinks something is wrong. And then she blinks it away.
Yeah.
And he resets. So when he's come back in and her pregnancy is like significantly further along.
Yeah.
It is immediately, you're right, the pregnancy advanced sort of...
Yeah, because they get the doctor there and the doctor's sort of...
It's very immediate. He's like, they're 4 months pregnant and Paul Bettany, Vision, is shaking his head and she's like, yes, and he's like, oh, yes. So they get through it. They get to the point where they're decorating the nursery. They're building all the things. Then, I have a little bit of trivia for you.
In the plot section?
Yes,
Okay.
Plot section. So you're saying in episode 2, Geraldine.
Yes.
And you said you think she is the same actress who played...
No, it was that the character's name is Rambeau.
Yes.
Which is from Captain Marvel.
Do you want to know?
Well, is it the fact that it's the daughter?
Yes, it's the daughter.
Right.
She is Monica. Captain Marvel's girlfriend is Maria. The daughter is Monica.
Right.
So Geraldine is Monica.
So that's
Rambeau.
because that was the 90s and this is now...
I don't know what it is.
Well, that kid's grown up. And she's now this
I'm
woman.
assuming, but I don't know. All I know is she is Monica Rambeau.
Right.
As I say, I don't know I can't sort of say for definite what the situation is in terms of structure. I don't know that for sure. That makes sense, and I'm happy to go with it, but I don't know for sure. But yes, so...
She shows up.
She shows up with her little fish trousers.
Yes, which the pelican?
The pelican? No, no. It's a
what is it?
Stork.
A stork.
Because storks bring babies.
Right, of course, yeah.
So, they have then the whole trying to hide the pregnancy, Vision going to try and get the doctor, all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, they're dealing with that in terms of the magic of, she's having... contractions, so she's like making it rain when her waters break. She's making every contraction is making the electric surge or things like that, so she blacks out the neighborhood. Which is all very funny and kind of like goofy humor where they're trying to cover it up. But then they have moments of serious issues when Vision goes outside and he thinks they're talking about him and Wanda.
Yes.
And they're whispering and they start talking about Geraldine.
Yes.
And then Geraldine is inside with Wanda saying, your brother was killed by Ultron.
Well, it's that's the point, isn't it? When the show is really, truly taking a step in a specific direction. Because
really is.
It's Wanda who brings up Pietro first.
Yeah.
And sings a little Sokovian lullaby, I assume. And so we've gone straight through the birth.
I mean, the thing is, the birth, baby, it's rapid. The baby, then the 2 babies are born. There's the back and forth about whether it be Billy or Tommy.
Yeah. We
have rapid fired through it, and it's relevant because it's most of the episode, to be fair.
Yeah. Well, I was quite sort of struck by how much there is at the end.
That's exactly the problem. I feel like we've rapid fired through that because that sort of getting the doctor there and she's pregnant, she's even more pregnant, and
there's not really a structure. And I've started recording a Battlestar podcast which we haven't started publishing yet.
Yeah, with your friends.
My friends who are actors from our movie.
They are wonderful actors from our movie.
And one of the things that I'm constantly saying is that I've divided the episodes into 3 acts, or 6 in the case of the miniseries because it's twice as long.
Yeah.
But I'm I'm just constantly repeating myself that this is just the way I've divided it. It's not some divine act structure necessarily, but in some cases it will be. This doesn't feel like there's any sort of...
I agree. The most of the interesting stuff is at the very beginning and at the very end. The middle is you have the rapid baby growth, you have the pregnancy, you have the mishaps with the magic, you have Geraldine arriving and Wanda trying to hide her pregnancy behind the fruit bowl and the coats. And it's all fun. It's entertaining. Like, it's not a criticism, but the stuff that really makes the episode good is the beginning when she... Like, he realizes something's going wrong with the neighbour.
She corrects him.
She corrects him. She, and then at the end, when Geraldine, it's calling her the real name, Geraldine doesn't really react like you'd expect her to the fact that Wanda is suddenly 9 months pregnant, and then...
She's surprised.
She is,
but... She's not like, that's physically impossible.
Yeah, she's... Because I was watching it like, what is going on? She knows. I was watching it like there is no way.
Well, I wasn't really sure what to make of Geraldine and what Geraldine knows until literally the end when she's blasted out of the place.
Well, maybe because I've literally been pregnant. But I was like, they've known...
Well,
like,
I know that pregnancy lasts longer than a day.
I know you do. I just mean, I was sort of watching it like... No, there is no way. There is no way. Because, like, some women don't realise they're pregnant until they're nearly giving birth, right? But they're women who have incredibly tight stomach muscles who, like, their bodies don't show. But Wanda's pregnancy, because it's magical and it's there, it is showing. There's no way... Because they've seen each other, like, the day before...
At
the magic show. There is no way.
Course.
There is no way.
I think the point I was sort of not sure about was, is she real? Like, is she another person who was just made up? And even though, like, I know that we talked about the fact that she's a Rambo, and, like, that's a choice. That's not just like, oh, my husband... Larry is blah-de-blah, whatever he's called, Ralph. They all seem like people that Wanda's just invented in her head.
No, but I was watching it like, no, that she knows that this isn't real, or this is magic. She knows, because she's like, oh, surprise, but in a sort of way you'd expect her to...
It's sort of like she goes with it.
She just goes with it. She's fine with it.
Surprised, but she goes with it.
She births these giant babies that are... practically walking, Wanda's like, oh, you're strong because this baby's holding its head up. Like, we've had newborns. We know that, like, and I know I'm not sort of criticizing the show for its inaccurate newborn representation. I'm saying that the character would notice that these are not newborn babies and chooses to be okay with it.
Unless the show is just using the youngest...
No. Because I have watched a lot of shows, right, where babies are born, and the more modern the show, the more realistic the newborn baby is. Yeah, shows like in the 90s when, they had fucking toddlers coming out there. But these days they are more accurate at it. This is a choice. This is deliberately done so that she doesn't react to it.
Well, that's quite a lot of assumption, because
it is.
It might be a choice that the babies look massive because it's not a real pregnancy. It's not a real...
Okay, you're right. But I would say it's done so that you can see Geraldine just be...
able to roll with it.
But
then people roll with things in this. Like, in this little town that Wanda's created, which she didn't create.
They don't, because Agnes and Keenan are outside talking about Geraldine. They are not just rolling with Geraldine. She's an intruder to the fantasy world.
They do face-to-face, though. They might talk about... So we don't know that Geraldine wouldn't talk about this behind Wanda's back.
Right.
But there's a kind of... There's a performative neighborliness to everyone.
There is.
Which
but I feel
Geraldine's behaviour, for me, landed in the same way that, what's the Catherine Hahn character called?
Agnes.
Agnes and Geraldine came across very similarly to me in terms of how they behaved around Wanda, which is, this is weird, but I'm going with it. So I wasn't really taking any of her behaviour as indication that she's from the outside, even though she was.
Yeah, she was.
But it does work, though.
It works, yeah. I took it as a real sort of pay attention to this because the pictures are spinning around and
yeah, they normally try to, like, that is true. They normally manage to kind of cover up when magic stuff is happening.
Geraldine was being fully exposed to all of this stuff going on.
Yeah.
And also the thing, when Wanda was trying to hide her pregnancy behind a fruit bowl, that was nothing. Literally nothing. And Geraldine was still willing to be like, oh yeah, you incredibly slim woman, I saw in a leotard covered in sequins yesterday.
So, yeah, obviously you are right that
she was put in this situation with all of these extremes to show the audience that she is not reacting to them. I
think she was put in this situation because they wanted to show what Wanda will do to someone who doesn't belong there. Someone who quizzes her about, her pain and her true identity, if you like. But, it's still, because it's all kind of revealed by the end anyway.
You see, I have questions. Oh, I'll save that for part 4.
Interpretation. So plot-wise, she croons to the Bairns. She does the little Russian lullaby. Oh, not Russian, sorry. The Sokovian
so
lullaby.
Confused then.
She croons to the Bairns.
She does. She sings her little Sokovian lullaby. Vision is outside and finds out
and this is really nicely done because, Herb / Keenan
and Agnes. And obviously Vision thinks that they're talking about him and Wanda because he knows that they're weird.
I suspected, because you can hear them using the pronoun she, that he was being
protective
because he thought they were talking about her.
Yeah.
I don't think he thought they were talking about him.
No, I agree. Because he
I don't think he'd go over if he thought they were talking about him.
I felt exactly the same. I feel like if they were talking...
He's like, what's this? He's almost got a bit of like, I'm gonna like antagonize it.
Yeah, I'm affronted. And I liked that energy he had. Because I think at first he responded like, oh God, they're gossiping about us. I'm going. And he pauses. And he turns. And he listens. And he waits, because then he works out they're talking about a woman, and obviously he thinks they're talking about Wanda.
Of course.
And when he goes over and they include him in the sort of...
The gossip.
The gossip and the... And if you bear in mind, they are... If we're right and our theorising is correct...
To be honest, their behaviour in that moment has kind of made me wonder if they're not actually real people as well.
Except the only thing that backs it up, right? At the same moment they are having that conversation,
she's finding out.
She is getting suspicious.
So
then she has the thing about, oh, your brother Pietro, he was killed by Ultron.
Okay, so there's points to make here, and it relates to the names of those children, right? Billy and Tommy.
Talk me through Billy and Tommy, Jonathan McKinney, because I know nothing about this.
I
knew there must be something, but I'll go with you.
This is weird and complicated, right?
Like you.
That's true. In the 1980s, right, there's a comic book, Wanda and the Vision have twin boys.
Billy and Tommy.
Billy and Tommy.
Right.
They don't actually exist. It is happening in a alternate world where Wanda has created them using some kind of soul sliver from the devil. Not the Grim Reaper, but Mephisto. Right? Okay. So she creates these sons, but, from her and Vision. Much like in this television show.
Yeah. Take out the devil slither and you've got the same situation.
I don't know how that story is resolved. It's from the 1980s, but when the story is resolved, they no longer exist. Okay? Then, so I think there's 2 other instances where they exist in different alternate universes within the Marvel comics, right?
Okay.
One
I'm
being,
glad you're here because I'm not the comics at all.
Well,
I'm all the movies
yeah,
and
yeah,
the TV.
So in the story, The House of M, right?
Right.
So the X-Men and the Avengers are worried about Wanda Maximoff. They think she might need to be killed because she's too powerful and reckless, right? She's the daughter of Magneto, who is played by Ian McKellen in the X-Men films, right? In this, she's not the daughter of Magneto.
I didn't think she was.
But in the comic book stories,
yeah, I get that there's variations.
And Quicksilver is still her brother.
Yeah.
So what Magneto does is he creates an alternate universe using Wanda's powers, wherein mutants rule over humans.
Right.
And similar to the story in Wonder Woman, though we haven't seen it yet, in 1984, it's to do with a world where everybody gets what they want or what they wish for, right? I don't think it's what they wish for. That's very Wonder Woman, but what they want. So Spider-Man is like a celebrity, and he's happily married, and not Steve Trevor, that's Wonder Woman again. Steve Rogers, Captain America. Is an elderly veteran.
Like he literally is at the end. Yeah.
Anyway, so in that alternate universe, the only character that remembers the way the world was before Magneto and Scarlet Witch did this thing is Wolverine. So he then leads a team to go and fight them and restore the world back to the way it was. But
why would he not want to just stay where it is? It sounds lovely.
Well, it wasn't for humans, and
because they're the ruling.
Yeah,
it's a 1984 situation.
In the House of M universe reality, Billy and Tommy were alive and well, right?
Right.
Because Wanda was getting what she wants, and then so there's these two characters that were born, and they're not twin brothers, but they look identical, and they're called William and Thomas. Right?
In what? In House of M?
No. This is after House of M.
Right.
And these two guys, they grow up and they become young Avengers called, and again, they're not related. They're from different families. They grow up and become young Avengers called Wiccan and Speed. Right. Wiccan being yes. Quicksilver.
So obviously they are related. They've just been adopted into.
No,
they have.
No,
they have.
Trust me.
They have.
I'm getting to the conclusion. They are reincarnated.
Oh, that's even better than they've been like.
These two babies that we've just seen magically created in a magical world where they don't really exist.
Wiccan and Speed.
Like, so it's Tommy is Speed, and they get the other ones. Like, so Wanda wants Tommy, and that's Quicksilver's. Like, so Tommy looked like Quicksilver, looked identical to Quicksilver.
Right.
And was obviously super fast. And this is all going on before it was confirmed who they were, right?
I'm loving all of this. I wish I'd grown up reading comics,
Well, there's just too much of it.
Well, there is too much, and also it wasn't part of my sort of growing up culture, and I was just too old when, like, I knew about all these characters in the basics, like, but I'd heard of Iron Man, Superman and all that sort of stuff, but it wasn't until the Marvel films, and was Thor first?
The first of the Marvel films? Of the MCU?
Yeah. Iron Man. Well, whichever was first, like, I was like, I'm in, I want to go, I love superheroes, I love action movies.
13 years now. Since
is it really?
Well, 12 and a half. So yeah, that is and the fact that Billy and Tommy were created identically as to how they are, like the twin sons of Wanda and the Vision,
and in a Wish
universe. In a Wish universe,
I love that.
And then they, like, subsequently again before they became Wiccan and Speed, which is quite funny, really.
I love it.
They like I say, they appeared in these other alternate universes. So when Wanda's living in an alternate universe where she gets what she wants, she's got her sons.
I love this. And
so that is the very interesting possible direction that these two babies are going. Because when she was, like, because obviously she shows up pregnant at the end of the last one.
At the end of episode 2.
It was again hammering a very sort of potentially heartbreaking.
Yeah. You know what? There's the TV series A Town Called Eureka.
I know of it. And
You've never saw it. I loved it.
I think no, I saw Warehouse 13, and
Warehouse
that's got
13.
the same universe.
Same universe, but you a town called Eureka, in which I think it's either season 3 or 4. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Podlovians.
Podlovian friends.
They have an alternate reality situation.
Yeah.
Where the main character has a child.
Right.
But they have to reverse the universe.
Okay.
So his child
is undone.
And it's really heartbreaking.
Of course. Nobody wants to see that.
It's honestly, I cried. It was devastating. And it's all erased because it has to be.
Yeah.
For the safety of the universe. And it's a similar thing. Like, this is interesting. I love this.
Well, the good news for Wanda is that if they're doing these two, Tommy and Billy, then she may not lose the children.
And also, but it's interesting that, because if it's Tommy and Billy or Wiccan and Speed, and it's the same episode she talks about Pietro. It's beautiful.
Oh yeah, they are well aware of what they're doing.
Oh no, I know they are. I'm just sort of from an outsider's point of view. I love how these guys do story. I just love how the Marvel overlords do. Right, we should go into section
I've got
2.
one more thing.
One more plot thing. Go on.
And it's not so much a plot thing, but it builds on from what we've been talking about.
That's fine.
So it's not to do with Billy and Tommy, but who sound like characters from a Bon Jovi song.
Yeah, they do. Tommy used to work on the dock.
Thank you. Yeah, he did indeed. So, God, I'm trying really hard not to carry that song. Right, so you know that the next Doctor Strange movie, which is being directed, I think, by Sam Raimi.
Oh, is it? I did not know that.
Of Evil Dead
and
Spider-Man.
I know Sam Raimi.
That film is called Doctor Strange and the Marvel people hate me for not remembering this. The
Marvel people, please don't hate him. I promise he's as much of a nerd as you. He's just had wine and has many, many children who don't let him sleep.
These are all true things. It's the something of madness. What the fuck is it? Is it
the storm of madness?
No,
is it the island of madness?
Nope. Doctor Strange.
The Metatron of madness.
Metatron of madness. No. God. It's
the island map.
We are about to lose people, so I say I pause and find out because I cannot not know. So, as we know, and as I was aware of the whole time and did not need to Google.
Are we getting rid of my amazing suggestions?
No, we're not. I'm just pretending to... it was a bit. But never mind. The multiverse of madness.
Multiverse of madness.
So Doctor Strange, and that I really should have remembered because that's the point of why I'm bringing it up, because it's a multiverse. And the Scarlet Witch is in it.
Right.
So... some people are theorizing that she is going to be the next Thanos, right? The next phase is bad guy.
I love her. I don't want to. But it would make sense because she's going to have lost her man and her children and her brother.
Yep.
And
her parents. And everything.
I mean, honestly, if my children were ripped away from me and I would probably turn in... If I had any power at all, I would turn into a Thanos.
I mean, she wouldn't be Thanos per se. She'd be more Darth Vader.
Yeah, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, she'll be the big bad for the next phase of Marvel. Now, that's not a fact.
No.
That's something people think. And
the
way
that
is, right, if she deals with...
I'll be on her side.
Well, that's good, though.
I'll be like, no, you go, Mama. You avenge those missing babies. I will have your back. I will destroy those avenging bastards.
So,
stole your babies.
When in the House of M, when they're saying we should kill Wanda because she's too powerful, I know that Captain America says, no, we shouldn't. We should try other things to try and get through.
That's because he's Captain America.
Because he's Captain America. There is other characters who don't want to kill her, but I cannot remember who, even though I literally just checked it today. So,
wine and children sleeping issues.
So, so it's possible that she might be the baddie in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness,
Yeah.
but then be brought around by, for example, Captain America or someone.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, but I can see it. It would make sense in terms of the story.
And like Thanos is a huge deal, and he doesn't really do anything until Infinity War. Like he's in a couple of scenes. If she was constantly, and we've sort of got to know her, and we've seen her lose like her parents, her brother, her robot boyfriend, and now children.
If she does lose,
if she loses, but she will.
She will, of course, she will. But we haven't seen it yet, so that's theories for the future. That's part 4.
Yeah. I mean, the way that they've been made, they're not sticking around. She's not going to be
No,
I've got my
course
2
not.
babies with me. So, yeah, I think it's interesting. I think that if that is what this show's about,
it's interesting.
It's also going to force loads of nerds to watch it who might be like, I don't want to watch it because it's weird, and they do weird jokes.
They do, and it's all black and white and goofy and the fashion that I love.
But this is the confidence that we were talking about last time.
Yeah, exactly. So do part 2 then.
Part 2 is what you like.
What you like.
I liked Vision running the Doctor to the house, and the Doctor being a bit like, well, it was strange.
It's almost like flying.
Almost like flying. And also the West Wingian, like he wants to go on holiday. So his plans to go on holiday. So again, Pavlovian friends, Marvel fans, who some of you will have watched The West Wing, some won't. There's a recurring thing that happens in The West Wing, which I have stolen in my writing, which is that if any character is if any character is about to have a burdensome adventure sort of placed in front of them that they kind of have to face up to and take part in without necessarily wanting to, they must first be planning a trip to somewhere really luxurious and fun and relaxing and cathartic.
Exciting and happy.
Yeah.
That has to be ruined every single time.
And it's not even because it's in The West Wing, it's definitely a trope because it happens so often.
Yes.
But then you get to have fun with that because then people know it's coming. So you can be creative with playing with people and making it part of the humour of the thing that's happening.
Yes, definitely.
And I enjoyed that very much, that he was trying to go to Bermuda or wherever.
It was Bermuda. Yes, it's funny because when he said Bermuda, I assumed, obviously I was wrong, but I assumed he would get to Bermuda but would go missing in the Bermuda Triangle.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you watched a lot of Lost.
I have. I honestly, watching this, I was like, the hatches! There's so many hatches!
I really enjoyed when the power goes out and the character who's played by
Anya.
Asks,
what's her name?
Emma Caulfield.
Emma Caulfield. Oh yeah, Ford now.
She says, does this make me
look
fat?
Do my earrings make me look fat?
My earrings. And he looks at her in panic and terror, and then the lights go out and he goes, thank God, or something.
And that was literally the only appearance in this episode.
I thought that was very funny. And my favourite moment of the whole thing, in a comedic sense, was we must abandon the kitchen.
Yes, that was so funny.
I literally laughed out loud.
I did as well.
We must abandon the kitchen.
It's funny because we watch these separately from each other. We don't watch them together. We don't talk about them. We literally just keep our mouths sealed until this.
Well, of course we both appreciate that because we both hate our kitchen. Yes. And if there's one thing that I have ever identified with a character in a Marvel property, we must abandon the kitchen is... Number one, as Lani Day and Richard have said, with a bullet. That is the thing that any Marvel character has ever said that I feel in my very bones.
In your core.
We must abandon the kitchen.
I really enjoyed, the gossiping at the fence. I enjoyed the sort of weird little over-the-fence neighbour interactions. It was very, when she's like, Ralph looks better in the dark, and the gossiping and the way that coincided with her getting suspicious about Geraldine. Mm-hmm. So I have a question then. Oh no, I won't go to that yet.
Go to that.
We'll do what we didn't like.
Again, there's nothing I didn't like.
You see, the only thing, and it's not a real didn't like, mm-hmm. I didn't like the stalk.
Oh, that went on a bit long for you.
It's not even that. It was bad.
It was there at all?
No, the stalk, it would have been fine. I didn't like the animation on that stork.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I did not care for the animation on that stork. It bugged me the entire time it was on screen. And it might have been done for a reason, as a sort of...
Our cats are so loud.
I'm so sorry, Podlovians. They've chosen right now to fight. But yeah, I didn't like it. I was watching it and I was thinking to myself, is this done deliberately to emulate like animation of the time? And I'm not familiar enough with 70s animation to say.
You're not?
So it could be a deliberate choice to look like 70s. Honestly, these cats. It could be a deliberate choice to look like 70s television.
Yes.
Right? Which I would respect as a choice.
Uh-huh. I don't know if it was. I mean, to me, it was just another fruit bowl in front of a bumper.
Yeah.
It was another sort of quickly getting the curtains closed before the boss's wife sees the kitchen.
The fruit bowl thing, as long as I accept that it wasn't deliberately, it wasn't actually an attempt to hide. You know what I mean? No one was actually saying that you could hide a pregnancy by fruit bowl.
No.
As long as I accept...
I did like... I know we've done what we did like, but
That's
I did
fine.
like the way that when she... Because if it worked at all, it only worked when she was face on.
And leaning forward.
And sort of leaning forward. So she did that. So she kind of very strategically kept it in that...
I thought that was funny.
And like it was subtly performed.
It was.
And it was very funny.
As I say, when I was like, no, this is on purpose. This is to show that Geraldine isn't reacting to it as like it's fine. But if I let myself think, are they actually thinking you could hide a pregnancy by fruit bowl? I got irritated.
Yeah.
But I very quickly sort of cottoned on to the, you know.
Yeah.
But the stork bugged me. I was like, I do not enjoy this stork.
Yeah, but you have previous with feeling that the entirety of pregnancy not being given its full respect in fiction.
I do.
Yes. It is something that has bothered you before.
It has.
Did you enjoy, therefore, the Braxton Hicks?
I did.
Because you've had those for a very long time.
I was hospitalized with those.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
I did. I enjoyed that got acknowledgement and her sort of like magical reaction to the extreme of them.
I know I keep dragging us back to things we did like.
I know, but that's good because it's a good show.
I did like almost all of it.
I did too.
And I didn't like none of it. But
the stork. But anyway, so go on to thoughts and theories because...
Okay.
Right. So my question is this.
Yes.
When Geraldine is expelled. So I at first was like, oh, has she killed her? Because she's like, she had to run home. Right? And they've literally just been outside saying she doesn't have a home.
Right.
So when Wanda said she had to run home, my first thought was, has she killed her? Has she literally, are we going to cut to the body outside of Geraldine dead? I do like the version better where she's expelled. My question was, because everybody rocks up immediately, right?
When Monica/Geraldine
lands in present day.
You say present day, I say somewhere else.
All right, fine. All right, when Geraldine lands other place.
Sure.
Everybody's there immediately.
Yes.
So my question is, because I wondered this, was she pulled or was she kicked?
Oh, she was 100% kicked.
So how did they know?
They are monitoring this. This is just how I took it.
That's
right?
Fine.
The number one, she was definitely ejected from this world in the most forceful way without killing her. That Wanda, and she does a little turn of the head, and before when she's really losing her patience.
Yeah. She's great in that moment, honestly. Elizabeth Olsen listening to Geraldine talk. You can see this cannot happen.
It's not even that she's angry. It's just that she's
this cannot happen.
She's so furious that she's not angry. If that makes any sense at all.
Yeah, it's literally this.
She's pathologically I don't know how to use that word. I hear people say it, so I've got context in my head, but it's
No,
a
but I know what you
scientific word.
mean.
But she seems obsessed with keeping her
Little universe
world.
working.
And no surprise, because she's just had 2 babies. And
Well,
this is where...
well, the doctor says that's the thing you can't leave.
Right. There you
The
go.
doctor says, like, that's the thing about small towns, you can't leave.
That's true, because that's a really weird thing to say, because that's with regards to his holiday.
Yeah, because
vacation.
he was planning on going.
So, in my opinion, Wanda thoroughly ejected Geraldine / Monica from this world.
So the TV screen we are seeing at the end is literally them watching.
They're watching her completely. So as soon as Wanda, again, I say this, I don't know.
Oh no, I know. This is thoughts and theories.
I'm speaking as though my expectation is true, because otherwise I'm going to constantly do this.
Yeah, it's fine. We are just going with you.
They're watching what's going on inside Wanda's head or in the physical world that she's created, and we're
ready for...
Yeah.
So, okay, in that case, was Geraldine planted there by the outside who are watching her?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I think.
I believe so, yeah. I don't think she found a way in. I don't think she found a way in. I don't know what her motivation to do that would be.
Okay, so then here's my question. If you are right that Ralph...
Oh, that was just a theory. And by the way...
I know, it's all theory. It's fine, we're in the theories section.
Podlovian friends, JJ and I had a conversation last week in episode 2, which was subsequently edited out because of some incoherence on my part. But we spoke to the point
Grim Reaper.
The character of the Grim Reaper,
who you are theorizing is Ralph,
because of the shape of a helmet that appeared in the second episode.
Yeah.
Oh, in the opening credits of the second episode. I don't know if it appeared in this one. That conversation didn't pop for me, so I edited it out. But the point remains that yes, I speculated that the husband Ralph, who we've never seen.
So, okay, that's my question, right? If Geraldine, who is an outsider of the Wonder World, the theorized Wonder World,
yes,
was planted by outsiders. If Ralph is the Grim Reaper character, was he created by Wanda? In your theory, obviously.
Well, this episode has led me to abandon that theory.
Because they were talking about Geraldine.
They were talking about Geraldine not belonging there.
But as I say, that coincided with Wanda's suspicions.
To me, that felt more Truman Show than the inside of Wanda's head. And I know what you're saying about how
it felt very Truman Show to me.
Yeah. I know what you're saying about how, as Wanda was finding out about Geraldine, if she'd constructed these people, they were finding out too, because they are inside her head anyway.
That makes sense to me.
However, things were going weird with Keenan / Herb
cutting through the wall.
And what I am getting more the impression of from this episode, and again, this is just my theory, I don't know, and I hope it keeps surprising me, but is that
they are all plants.
That they're all plants, that this is a place that was created much like the Matrix to contain Wanda because she's too powerful. And speaking to the idea of the House of M, where we have to do something with Wanda because she's too powerful.
That makes sense.
And Magneto using her power to create an alternate universe where her children Billy and Tommy exist.
That would make a lot of sense.
If people on the outside have used Wanda's power to create this world, so she hasn't created it, someone else has created it using her power the way Magneto used that power.
She is choosing to reverse so she doesn't see the B-Man. To reverse so that...
because she has a lot of power still in that world, but they've created very strong, compelling reasons for her to stay.
Right.
Things that she didn't choose, like the babies. So if someone on the outside, right, in the world where they're watching her on television, wants her to stay there because she's too powerful, and they've used her power, much like Magneto does in House of M, to create an alternate universe for her to live in.
Geraldine out.
Oh, because of the look on Wanda's face. That's my reading of it.
No, that's fine, but why wouldn't they want... why would... If they are all plants, right, why is Geraldine the only one that didn't have a home? And why is Geraldine the one who was said...
It's a good question. if they are all plants, maybe they let her populate it. Maybe that feeds into your notion of them finding out when she finds out. But that's my theory, is that someone's used her power to create a world for her to live in, much like the Matrix, much like the Truman Show. Not so people can spy on her like in the Truman Show, but so that she will be docile like in the Matrix, right? And she's gonna Neo her way out. She's gonna Truman her way out.
But
they always do.
She wouldn't want to because of her babies.
That's a really good point. So yeah, I'm really excited to find out what does happen.
Oh yeah, I am too. I'm fully intrigued. As I say, it's just a massive show of hatches. There's so much that I want to know.
Do you think we'll get an answer as to why the guy was surrounded by bees and wearing a beekeeper's uniform?
I hope so. Because they did they put that in the previously on, which means it can't just be.
I think that was like, there's been weird stuff. Remember the weird stuff?
Yeah, but you wouldn't. This isn't made by J.J. Abrams. You know what? J.J. Abrams...
He's not the only person in Hollywood, though,
who
likes to drop ideas and then
I love him
worry about it later.
Hugely. The other J.J., my best friend.
You really do love him.
The other J.J.
Yeah.
I adore him. I adore his works, his many, many works. But I'm not blind to the fact that he will throw ideas out and see what sticks. But Marvel doesn't do that. The great Marvel Feige
also,
overlords.
The reason why he does that is because he's making 22 to 24 episodes of a thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And hoping that he gets the budget for another 22 and then another 22, and he doesn't know when he's going to end. Whereas the people who made this,
they knew
exactly. That's why all the episodes are different lengths, because they don't have to worry about fitting in between 8 and 9 central.
Exactly.
And
when Abrams drops hatches, it's because he wants to keep the people investing in his show curious enough to find out where it's going to go, and the audience is curious enough to keep watching.
And possibly the fault comes with him being so excited at that he then overdoes it and forgets about the hatches that he has sprinkled about the island.
I will not hear bad words against my best friend JJ.
But you started it.
I'm just saying, I'm aware that he does drop the occasional unopened hatch.
I also admire and respect J.J. Abrams, so there's no criticism from me. I've got nonsense.
Marvel, this isn't that. This isn't.
I think that there should. I don't know what you would do to explain a bee man.
Well, I know, but I'm looking forward to. I don't think it's going to go unexplained. I don't. I think that everything they're doing has been meticulously designed.
I guess I've had my heart broken so many times.
And I feel like it might have something to do with the sewer.
The sewer? There's bees
because
in
he
the sewer.
climbs out of the sewer system, doesn't he?
I mean, he does.
So it's the underneath.
So that then makes you wonder, is it physically somewhere that exists on the Earth, right?
And is it being watched from underneath?
Maybe. I mean, no, because when she lands, like, they look like they've got a little camp. The thing is, the Truman Show-y thing. Because the Truman Show, again, Podlovians, you're possibly very young and have never seen the Truman Show or the Matrix.
You should watch it.
You should watch both of them. In the Truman Show, it's a physical place on Earth, not heaven.
Not an alien place.
Not an alien place or an imaginary place. So
yeah, it's a deck in Hollywood.
Truman lives in a massive fucking studio that looks like and feels like a real town or an island or something. And in the Matrix, everybody, like the world we know, is constructed by machines, and we're all in little eggs where we are being fed intravenously to use us as batteries because we are, fleshy radiators, essentially. So in WandaVision, the question is, the world that she's living in, it clearly doesn't obey the physical rules that our world does.
Is it in the mind?
But then neither does our world when Wanda's around. So,
yeah. Is the Wonder World that we are watching, is it in the mind like it is in the Matrix? Or is it in the physical world like it is in the Truman Show?
Well,
what's your theory? What would your answer be now?
Previously, I thought in the mind, in Wanda's mind, having seen Monica Rambeau / Geraldine blasted through a cabin in the woods-esque force field thing, I now think it exists in the world somewhere, and there's like a big energy dome surrounding it to keep her in there.
Both make sense to me.
Yeah. And if it exists in her mind, that means that someone in the Marvel Cinematic Universe has the ability to transfer people into Wanda's head, where she can then eject them and they come flying through a big force field that looks like it's literally in our world.
They've planned it. Whatever their answer is, they've planned it. They know what they're doing.
The big force field thing, it really suggests that it's a physical place. She's in there.
Yeah.
Literally physically in there. These things are happening. Those people are real.
Yeah.
She can control the world she's in, but she doesn't want to leave. So it's kind of the Matrix and the Truman Show.
In one go.
It's real, but it's made to keep her there.
Interesting.
It is interesting.
It's really genuine. Like, I'm really excited to see more.
Like, I know we've gushed about it already.
We can gush. Gush away, McKinney. Gush away.
But it's absolutely brilliant.
It is.
And
I agree.
The thing and I know I said this as well previously. I know this because I edited it, so I had to listen back to my drunken self instead of talking about Tank Girl and Buffy. But the reliance on storytelling techniques and tropes, and I don't say that with a negative connotation at all. The styles and stylings of sitcoms is just to me, it is Marvel as a kind of, storytelling group of people saying, look how fucking strong we can be.
Yeah.
That we can do a sitcom that isn't even, we're not sweating. So it's a fact that there's sitcoms in Hollywood that were being made where the bosses, and not like the executives, but the creative bosses, the showrunners or whatever, were brutal to the writers, right? They were horrible to the writers because they were like, it's got to be funny. It's got to be funny. If it's not funny, if I'm not laughing at these fucking jokes, we are all staying here until I am laughing at these fucking jokes. Because the pressure was such that they just wanted it to be hilarious all the time.
Yeah.
They're not doing that on WandaVision because these jokes aren't the best. It's not like Chandler and Monica.
No, it's not. It's
like,
sort of
some
it's
of the jokes
smart. Yeah, we must
abandon the kitchen is very specific for me.
Yeah, but it's funny. The delivery is funny, but I agree. Most of it's just a sort of wry smile type of humor.
And sometimes it's quite cheesy, like the humor. Like they'll make a cheesy joke and have their weird fake audience laugh at it.
Yeah,
and it feels stale. It feels deliberately stale. Sometimes.
I agree.
So it's not a sitcom where Marvel are like sweating and they're not getting like comedians into the room and saying, right, give these dickheads some funny jokes because these dickheads can't come up with
they are
jokes.
fine. Like they embrace the fact that they are going for what they're going for, which is old, which is kind of it's not new, it's not fresh, it's not designed to be hilariously funny for a reason because that kind of makes it new and fresh.
And also, there's just a kind of there's a sadness to people who don't exist laughing at jokes that aren't funny. Yeah.
But it's fresh and new because it's not anything that we are accustomed to now.
And yet, at the end of the first episode, the screen comes out and like you see Vision pull the chicken bone out of the guy's throat or whatever it is. And then you see the screen sort of goes wide and the music gets modern and you see somebody sitting there watching it like it's literally a TV show.
Yeah.
And then again, second one, a little more of that. And then the third one, a lot more of that.
Yeah.
There's nothing like the MCU.
I agree.
And, yes, a lot of the movies have a big fight at the end. Everybody's blowing each other up. But who's doing this?
It's brilliant. The balls of doing this.
But it's not even... I guess I know what you mean. It's confidence. The supreme confidence
100%.
without a hint of arrogance. They've got no need to be arrogant anymore.
Solid brass balls, Jonathan.
Yes, of course. But then the thing is, arrogance is insecurity, right? Confidence is security, and that's the difference.
Yeah.
To quote Vikram from The Office, right? Confidence is, what is it he says? The water of the wise man, the liquor of the fool, or something like that. And then Pam looks at him in the mirror and says, I think I'm going to enjoy our friendship, Vikram. Until Michael pisses him off such that he just storms off. So, I had to get a little office reference.
I'm with you.
And somebody said, see you on the flip side.
Oh my gosh, I meant to mention that. Yes, Keenan says, I'll see you on the flip side. And I was like, oh,
Validate.
Keenan. I'm like, you were deliberately written to validate my podcasting style.
Yeah.
So, Podlovians, we will see you on the flip side. Thank you very
Are
much.
we done? With nothing
Are
else
we
to say?
not done?
I think we might well be.
I think we're done. Thank you very much for joining us for episode 3 of WandaVision. We will be back again next week. We watch it on a Friday during the day. We podcast on a Friday evening after our children eventually go to sleep.
Yes.
And then John edits the podcast first thing on a Saturday morning. I process the then edited audio through the various systems it has to go through.
Don't go anywhere because this is going to get really good.
Midday on a Saturday, and then Saturday afternoon the podcast lands upon your telling phone.
Your telling phone. And who knows who's listening at this point? Do we know anybody is listening yet?
Well, we know people are.
That's what I'm saying. Do we know anybody is listening?
As in,
know...
like, specific names?
Not names. I'm not asking for shout-outs. I'm just saying, do we know if anybody's
listening?
listening?
Yes, we get the stats. People are downloading it.
Great.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I thought you meant, like, do I have names? Can I say specific? I know Zoe, our Facebook friend, said she wanted to listen, but that's...
Hi, Zoe.
Hi, Zoe. I do not know if she has, so it might be like, not hi, Zoe.
No, we'll just leave it in there. And
I'll tag her on Facebook and say, Zoe, we said hello, Zoe.
We referred to something.
We did say how did you set.
Yeah, and so that's a thing.
Hi, Zoe. Zoe. Our good friend Zoe.
This is Zoe Tilly's mother. Matilda's mother.
Yeah, that's Zoe. Zoe, you read our book, Zoe.
Hi, Zoe.
Hi, Zoe. Anyway, people who aren't called Zoe, thank you for listening.
Sucks to be you.
And we'll be back again. Same pod time, same pod channel.
Good God.
Look, I did flip side last time. You're just going to have to go with me.
I'm sorry. Same pod time.
Same pod time, same pod channel. We will see you on the pod side.
Jesus fucking Christ. Good day and goodbye, friends. See you, Zoe.